Welcome back to Benton Homestead, where we've just finished the second half of our first honey harvest, and today we're going to be putting it into jars. If you caught our last video, you'll remember that at that time we had harvested 3 of our colonies, and we just waited a week to harvest another 3, and we still have 3 that aren't quite ready to harvest yet. Here's the honey we have so far, all 11.5 kilograms of it. As you can see, there's still a little crud floating in it, so it'll need to be filtered one more time before jarring. In order to make sure that the sugar content is within acceptable limits to sell it, we purchased this handy-dandy refractometer. This device works by measuring the refractive index of whatever you put on this little prism here. So I'm just going to take a dab of honey and drop it there, close the window and hold it up to the light. Ah, yes.
Let's see if we can get refractometer view here. Alright, this is really hard to capture, but this is the view through the refractometer.
Of course, the line's a lot sharper with the naked eye. I'm reading 81.5 bricks, and it needs to be 78, so we're well within parameters. This isn't going to be a very high-tech process. First we'll be straining the honey into a second bucket, and then pouring it from that bucket into this cool pitcher. And from there we'll be pouring it directly into the jars. Since our first harvest is a little small, we're probably only going to be using our smallest size jars. Before we get started, I just wanted to show the cappings that we took off our honeycomb today. There is still plenty of honey in here, so we could use the crush and strain method to get the rest out if we really feel like it.
Now, straining this honey a second time is going to be a 2-person job, so I won't be able to film it, but you can imagine what it would be like if you could see it. Look at everything we filtered out of this honey. The technical term for this is bee crud. That's some nice clean honey right there. Alright, we got a few jars done, and we're just sort of figuring this out as we go. Evie's doing a really good job filling them up to the top line of the jars. Once we get these all jarred up, we'll give them a quick wipe down with a wet rag and then get the labels on them. Now, this sort of assembly line part of the process is a little bit familiar for us. If you didn't know, when we were in Portland and New Orleans, we had a small pickling company. That was what Benton Homestead originally started as, was pickles, and then when we moved to New Orleans it became homegrown, home-pickled vegetables, and so we did a lot of assembly line jarring, just the 2 of us. Our first honey harvest, all in jars. We got 80 little jars exactly. We're going to take our tools back to the bee yard because they are very good at cleaning off any little honey that's been left behind. So we're going to take a little bit of a break here. We were going to power through and try and deliver all these to the stores tomorrow, but then we realized that we still have quite a bit of work left to do before we get to that point. And we have a busy few days coming up. We'll be going back to Matsuyama to do our practice driver's license tests, among other things, the next few days. So we're going to have to go look back through our numbers and determine the exact hard costs of all of these jars and stickers, so then we can determine our price that we're going to charge for our first batch. We have a ballpark idea in mind that we already drafted up for our business plan, which was approved for our visa process last December, but that included estimated hard costs, and now we have official numbers, so we can input those in and see how close we were to our original estimate. Plus, we still need to hand write our date of harvest on our lid stickers, get these other stickers on, and I also have to make some display signage to put up at the Michinoeki Farmers Market, and we need to make sure that our sign meets their requirements. So after we do a little bit of homework, we're going to pick up this video again in a few days. See you then. All right, the moment we've all been waiting for. Here's our 80 little jars. We designed our labels to be a mix of both Japanese and English because we anticipate our customers will be both Japanese and English speakers. We're not allowed to include contact information on the signage for the Michinoeki farmers markets, but of course they let us include the contact information on our jar labels. So we have our YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and website links on there. We also have our little popular character Honey-san on the lid here, and I designed these labels so they can be used on any of the jar sizes, and we manually write on the amount of honey and the expiration date. In keeping with our goal to use as little plastic as possible, we are reusing some of these cute wooden boxes that we found here in our abandoned house and a metal bookend to act as our sign stand. I'll probably be too shy again to film anything with voice while we're setting up our display at the Michinoekis, but we're going to go down there, print out our sign, and print out the labels and get this all set up. So I do just want to apologize a little bit that I feel like this video could have been a little bit better if I had documented more as we were going through the process, but we really were just sort of learning as we go, and a lot of it was just sort of scrambling and figuring out what we were doing, and it involved a lot of going back and forth to the Michinoeki locations and fixing our display and making it a little better and then going back again. So it was a little bit of a roundabout process, not very streamlined, but we learned a lot. So as of now, we have our little honey jars in 4 locations on Ōmishima Island. We are in both Michinoeki farmers market locations. We are in Mokusei, which is the coffee shop over on the other side of the island. That's also where the One no wa dog rescue is located. And we are available in our own Benton Guesthouse. So the next step is we are going to figure out mail order, but as of now we're pretty good. We've got 80 jars in 4 locations and we'll be ready for our next batch soon. So thanks for watching Benton Homestead. We'll see you in the next video.
Oh.